Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Drew at The Average Joe Investing, and today I wanted to come with you with a quick little short video on exactly how rate hikes affect inflation. Part of my phone, by the way. So with that, let's jump right on into it. So with that, what is the relationship between inflation and interest rates? Inflation and interest rates are often linked and frequently referenced in microeconomics. Inflation refers to the rate in which prices for goods and services rise. With that, in the US, the interest rate, which is the amount charged by the lender to a borrower, is based on the federal funds rate that is determined by the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is the US central bank and is sometimes referred to as the Fed. The Fed attempts to influence the rate of inflation by setting and adjusting the target for the federal rates fund. The tool enables the Fed to expand and contract money supply as needed, which influence target employment rates, stable prices, and stable economic growth. Right here in the key takeaways, this basically sums it up for me. In general, when interest rates are low, the economy grows and inflation increases, i.e., COVID happens, interest rates go to all-time lows, the economy is booming, companies are doing great, and inflation comes. Conversely, when interest rates are high, the economy slows and inflation decreases. So when they start raising rates and the rate in which you have to pay back for money that you borrow is higher, in essence, it slows down the economy and brings down inflation. I.e., if you're not spending as much as you used to when the government was handing out stimuluses, you generally tend to save more and slow your spending, which is exactly what the Fed is attempting to do right now, especially because inflation is at an all-time high dating back all the way to about the 80s. So inverse correlation between interest rates and inflation. Under a system of fractional reserve banking, interest rates and inflation tend to be inversely correlated. The relationship forms one of the central tenets of contemporary monetary policy. Central banks manipulate short-term interest rates to affect the rate of inflation in the economy. So, i.e., being that our inflation right now in the US is about 7% or over 7%, this sort of manipulation is, in essence, going to help bring that number back down. So, by forcing us or the economy to slow its spending will require companies to bring back down the price for goods in an effort to get you to purchase them. I.e., if you're no longer going to pay $1,000 for that iPhone, how is Apple going to sell you that iPhone? If you're not going to pay the $1,000 for it, then they are in essence going to have to drop their price. And I know that's just an oversimplification, but it is what it is. As well, who is going to go buy a house at 8% interest rate when just last year you could have purchased the house at a 4% interest rate? So your borrowing as well is going to drop, which in essence is going to drop down inflation. So I know that's just a brief overview, but I feel like everybody's talking about inflation right now and the Federal Reserve attempting to raise rates, but they're not explaining to you why these things are happening and why they're doing it. So, in summary, inflation is high because we have pumped money, or the Federal Reserve has pumped money into the economy in order to stimulate it, and we have overstimulated it, and so now the Fed is going to take back some of that, raise interest rates, so that we can lower inflation. So I know I can go on and on about this and I can dive deeper into the intricacies, and who knows, maybe I will make a video about that. But I really just wanted to get a short little video out here explaining what is actually going on. We hear things on YouTube, and we hear inflation and we hear rate hikes and we see blood in the market. And what I really want to do is take some of that fear back. It's nothing to be scared of. This is going to happen. It's going to have a short-term impact on the market. Everything, in essence, should go back to where it was normally, and then we can ride this wave back on up. Fortunately, due to the pumping and dumping that was done by the Federal Reserve, inflation rose. It's a natural aspect of our economy and economics, and we need to reel it back in right now. COVID is where it is. It's news, but it's not the same news that it was. The stimulus isn't therefore needed. Jobs are everywhere. Let's bring it back down. Let's get it back to normal as quickly as possible. And hopefully we'll never have to talk about this again. Keyword is hopefully. We all know we will. With that, though, I do just want to end on a couple little bit of news tips. By the time this should be out, this should be Monday morning. And what should you be expecting? I have a little news video that I released yesterday. Feel free to check it out. But I did want to hit on the latest with Ukraine and Russia and where the U.S. is, because this is going to be a big factor in the markets this week. So new news today is President Biden has agreed in principle to meet with the Russian President Vladimir Putin as long as Russia does not further invade Ukraine. Hopefully this works out. Hopefully Russia pulls its troops back, or the news that they are pulling troops in goes away and war is no longer imminent. This will be a big factor, though, this week. Unfortunately, it played a factor in the end of the week, and it will play a factor in the beginning of this week. How will the markets react to it? Generally, war, bad for the markets. I'm hoping this gets settled up quickly. Russia can pull their troops back. At least this news can get out of the way, and we can continue with just the normal problems that we deal with within economics and not war, and have it play a factor into our investments. So as usual, if you like what you see, please smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Keep up to date on my latest videos. I just started a Twitter account, so be sure and check that out. I'll be posting little tidbits, news, advice, what I'm investing in, little things like that. So yeah, thank you for your time. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.